All right. We're talking about water. Water's from above. What goes up must come down.
Wait.
Mr. In October 2 Friday, we're going to spelling bee.
Yeah, this Friday we have the spelling bee.
Hi, there is.
You guys have been studying. We're gonna work on some on Wednesday. All right, everyone's on 227.
Yeah, Victor.
Yes. There.
Carlos, you're there, right?
27. I just opened a book and look.
You sure? All right, let's get started reading, okay? Water from above, a gift from God. You can spend many enjoyable hours watching the never-ending variety of shapes in the clouds. Their white brilliance against the deep blue of the sky, a strikingly beautiful sight. Although one we often take for granted in our everyday lives. The flaming reds and oranges and the delicate pinks and purples of the clouds at sunrise and sunset are an awe-inspiring example of God's artistic talents displayed in creation. But as fascinating and beautiful as the clouds are, God did not place them in the sky just so we could look at them. God designed clouds to be the instruments he uses to water the earth. Without clouds, all the lands in the world would become drier than the dustiest desert. Clouds and their life-giving waters are a gift from God. All right, so we need clouds. We get water from clouds.
Can I keep on reading, mister?
Yes, Monse, you read for me.
What goes up must come down. Through evaporation in the action of rising air, water vapor is lifted far above the Earth's surface to form clouds. The water droplets or ice crystals that make up clouds are so light that they stay suspended in the air without falling. What then causes rain or snow or ice to drop out of the clouds? How does the water stored in clouds get back down to the earth? Whether it takes the form of rain, snow, or ice, water that falls out of clouds is called precipitation. Most forms of precipitation start out of ice crystals in the tops of clouds. These cloud tops are very high and in the air. When temperatures stay far below freezing, even on the warmest summer days. In these cold regions, the clouds are made up of both ice crystals and water droplets. The crystals and the droplets are very tiny to start with, but the cold temperature causes the ice crystals to grow bigger by taking moisture from the surrounding droplets. Soon the crystals become too large and heavy to be held up by the air, and they begin to fall through the cloud on their way to the ground.
Very good. So that's talking about precipitation. We have rain, snow, or ice. Water that falls out of the clouds is called precipitation. All right, so we're gonna look at the different types of precipitation and how they form. All right, we're gonna answer how they form, okay? So let's go with Peña. Peña, I want you to read precipitation personalities.
Okay. Precipitation personality. Precipitation arrives on the ground in many different forms. The various types of precipitation develop their unique characteristics or personalities as they travel through the air down to the earth. Rain, the ordinary fluid. An ordinary rainbow starts out with an ice crystal in the top of a cloud. When the crystal grows too heavy to flow through the air anymore, it falls out of the cloud. During its journey to the ground, the ice crystal runs into warmer air and melts. Soon afterward, it strikes the earth as a drop of liquid water. Wet snow frames will stick together. It snow falls when the temperature of the air at lower levels is cold enough to keep the ice crystal from melting into a rain on their trip down to the ground. Ice crystals form into when snow when the temperature of the earth they pass through is right or just above the freezing point of water. Under these conditions, falling ice crystals melt only slightly and they stick and freeze together to form large clumps called snowflakes. The snowflakes are so sticky they are cling to every surface they land on, creating the kind of spectacular snowscape in which even the tiniest branches and twigs are all green and white. Wet snow is called a group packing snow because it makes the best snowballs and snowmen.
Good job. Okay, so we have rain, which is ice crystals that get too heavy and then they start to fall to the ground, and then they melt and become water droplets, and so they hit the ground as water. Then we have the snow, which stays together and they form large clumps called snowflakes. And so, has anyone experienced snow here? Has everyone gone to the States and seen snow or nothing? It doesn't snow here in Honduras. It snows in Colorado though, which actually, and I think in a month it'll start maybe snowing a little bit. Actually, it just snowed not too long ago. It's weird. And so that's wet snow, okay? That sticks together, okay? Then we have dry snow. Gloria, will you read dry snow for me?
Rain is solitary trouble air. Dry snow falls when the temperature of the air is well below freezing ice crystals. Falling south, very cold air do not melt and stick together to form large wet snowflakes but travel single to the air. Because the individual crystals do not cling to each other, dry snow is very loose and powdery, making it the best kind of a snow of tobogganing and skiing. This sort of snow is also easily blown into tall snow drifts by the wind.
Okay, very good. You can keep going. Do ice. So it's the next page, but ice, the quick change artist.
Usually air near the air surface is warmer than the air higher up in the troposphere, but sometimes a layer of warm air will rise over the top of a layer of cool air. If the temperature of the warmer air is above freezing and the temperature of the cooler air is below freezing, the conditions are just right for two different kinds of ice precipitation to form. Ice crystals falling so the warmer air melt and turn into raindrops. But when they strike the layer of colder air, they may refreeze and turn into tiny pieces of ice, forming an unpleasant kind of precipitation known as sleet. If they do not refreeze immediately, but continue all the way to the ground as a liquid, they form raindrop freezes as soon as they land, forming a coating of ice on every exposed object. This type of precipitation is called freezing rain. Also, the ice coating on trees, houses, and
telephone lines is a breath, breath, breathtaking sight. Freezing rain causes much damage to plants and buildings and make roads extremely slippery and dangerous.
Very good. All right. So it'll get cold, really cold, freeze and fall to the ground, and then it'll melt and turn into water, and then it'll pass through a layer of cool air, and it refreezes, which turns into sleet. Sleet is so annoying. It's just like heavy, wet ice. And it sticks to you. It's kind of like snow, but not really like snow. And it just is annoying. But freezing rain, Monster, turn your camera on. Freezing rain is dangerous because it'll fall on the ground, freeze, and then it's just slippery and scary, can destroy things. It's not like you're gonna die or anything. It just can be kind of dangerous. Then we have tropical rain. Carlos, I want you to read tropical rain.
Okay. Tropical rain going along with the crowd. A tropical raindrop may be the only type of precipitation that does not begin its life as an ice crystal. In the tropics, the temperature of the air at the level where rain clouds form is not below the freezing point of water. Because no ice crystal can exist in these clouds, rain must form by a different method. Water vapor condenses on large particles of sea salt in the water. A water droplet around one of these particles may easily become heavy enough to begin falling through the cloud. As it falls, crashes into smaller water droplets and life in its path. Some droplets bounce away, but others are irresistible, swept up into the bulk of the big droplet by absorbing many of these tiny droplets. The big water droplet grows into a full-sized raindrop as it falls out of the cloud on its way to the earth.
Very good. All right, let's do this comprehension check together, okay? So we're gonna describe how each type of precipitation is formed, all right? So how does it form? We're gonna start with dry snow.
Already do it, mister.
You already did it.
How many comprehension checks?
It's 2 comprehension checks.
Just 2 comprehension checks, but let's make sure they're correct, all right? So dry snow. How is dry snow formed, Lizzie?
Formed when ice crystal falls singly to the air.
Very good. Ice crystals fall singly to the earth. Okay, so dry snow is formed when ice crystals fall singly to the earth by themselves. Who can tell me how is ordinary rain formed?
Mister, an ordinary raindrop starts out as an ice crystal in the top of a cloud.
And then what happens?
melt.
Crystal grows too heavy to float through the air anymore and it falls out of the cloud.
It is ice crystals melt. Very good.
I can say it.
Now we're gonna let other people have a chance to do it. We already have it.
But when they streak the layer of colder air, they may refreeze and turn into tiny pieces of ice, forming an unpleasant kind of precipitation known as sleet.
Very good. So ice crystals will melt and become rain, and then they'll refreeze in the air. Good job.
A tropical raindrop may be the only type of precipitation that does not begin its life as an ice crystal.
Okay. It's on that last paragraph right before the top of it.
I missed it.
Water vapor condenses of large particles of sea salt in the air. That is,
No, not there. Peña, do you have it?
Yeah,
I have it.
Let's see if Peña has it.
and it falls to crash into smaller water drops lie in its path.
No, it's one of the last sentences, maybe the second to last sentence. There.
The big water drops grow into a full-size rainbow as it falls out of the cloud on its way through the air.
Large water droplets absorb what? What do they absorb?
Tiny droplets.
Smaller droplets. Very good. Smaller droplets while falling. Next we have freezing rain.
freezing rain.
You got it, Giancarlos?
Yeah.
How does it happen?
Also, the icy coating of treehouse and telephone lines of the breathtaking freezing rain causes. That is,
That's what it does, but it's before where it says this type of precipitation is called freezing rain.
Refreeze on the ground.
That's it, Lizzie. Good job. Ice crystals melt and refreeze on the ground. We have that the sleet, they refreeze in the air, but the freezing rain, they refreeze on the ground. All right, next we have wet snow. Any ideas? What does it say?
No, I don't know, Mr. West say what.
Wet snow on page 228.
228. Okay.
When the temperature of the air they pass out is right and
9 there.
just above the freezing point of water.
All right, and then read the next sentence.
Ice crystals form into wet snow when the temperature of the air pass through is right or just above the freezing point of water.
Next sentence. What's the next sentence?
Under this condition, falling ice crystals melt only slightly and stick as freezing together to form large ground-colored snowflakes.
Very good. Let your ice crystals stick together. All right, ice crystals stick together. And are all snowflakes different?
No,
Yes.
Yes, they are. We didn't read that section, but yeah, all snowflakes are different. That's the private investigator. But all snowflakes are different. Okay? All right. Let's keep reading. It's 8.6, okay?
And if we can, mister, we will do the comprehension check.
Yep.
but
Okay.
together.
Yipper, Johnny Deppers. All right, I'm gonna start reading and then I'll let you guys read, okay? Here we go. The fury of storms. Imagine that while you're playing outside on a warm summer day, you hear a faint rumble far off in the distance. Looking in the direction of the noise, you see a small patch of darkness very low on the horizon. As time passes, the darkness spreads, blocking out the afternoon sun, and the rumbles become louder and more frequent. A few tattered, dirty clouds pass low overhead. Trees sway back and forth in strong gusts of cold wind. Blinding flashes and jagged streaks of light flicker among the thick masses of black clouds. When a few large drops of rain splatter on the ground, you decide that it is time for you to go indoors. Make a mad dash for the shelter just as the clouds release their floods of rain. Have you ever been outside playing and then all of a sudden you hear the thunder and then you go, oh, I should get inside, and then all the rain starts falling on you? It's definitely happened to me. All right. Let's keep reading on the next page. It says, once inside, you can watch the fascination as the storm rages. As the storm rages. All right. And then the fierce wind howls and shrieks are in the corners of your house, drive sheets of rain, and spray sideways across the lawn. And lash tree branches into violent twistings. Ear-splitting crashes and deafening booms explode all around you. Then almost as quickly as it came, the storm passes on, and the sun peeks out from a break in the clouds. That's definitely happened before. The sun comes right after it rains. All right. Now we're going to talk about the hardworking cumulonimbus. Let's have John Carlos, you read for me.
Okay. Most of us have experienced a thunderstorm like the one just described. A thunderstorm is produced by the cumulonimbus cloud, also called a thunderhead. The giant cumulonimbus cloud is an engine of tremendous power. Like other engines, the thunderhead works to specific jobs. One of these jobs is to water the earth. Another is to help cool the earth's surface by carrying trapped heat into the upper atmosphere, making it easier for the heat to escape into space. Every engine has its design, and the Thunderhead is now a section. This cloud is now a large mass of basically floating water droplets, as are other clouds. Deep inside a thunderhead, an incredible amount of activity takes place at the cloud level to the attacks, gusting wind, hailstones, lightning, bolts, tornado, funnels. These are the visible results of the cloud's inner workings. In this section, we are going to probe into the dark mystery of the cumulonimbus cloud growing up in a Uri, where does the mighty thunderhead come from?
Keep going.
At first, it may be hard to believe that a cumulonimbus cloud is actually related to a tiny fluffy cumulus cloud you see on a hot day. But although their sizes are very different, but of these clouds formed in the same way by solar heating. The cumulonimbus is simple and overground version of the smaller cumulus cloud. Ordinary fire weather cumulus clouds are small and short-lived. They melt into nothing as the wind carries them away. From their source are warm air onto the ground, but if the temperature of the air near the ground is warm enough and the humidity is high enough, this small puffy cloud may eventually grow into ash cloud giants. I continue, Mr.
Yeah, finish the page.
One a summer morning, a small cumulus cloud formed when bubbles of warm air rise overhead areas of land. These early morning clouds quickly evaporate in the cooler, dry upper air. By releasing their warmth and moisture into the upper air, they allow clouds forming later in the day to grow to higher levels. This cloud in turn prepares the way for eventual cumulus clouds. By late afternoon, cumulonimbus cloud form.
All right, very good. So we have the cumulus clouds. That's what they start off, and then they become the cumulonimbus. Cumulonimbus cloud, and we'll see how they form. They kind of look like a giant anvil, so they'll go like and explode out. All right, and I'm sure you've seen some of those here. Okay, let's have Sander. I want you to read the anatomy of a full-grown cumulonimbus.
The anatomy of a full-grown cumulonimbus. If there is a limit to how clouds can grow, the tallest cumulonimbus clouds reach all the way to the very top of the troposphere. Remember that the troposphere, the boundary between the stratosphere and the stratosphere, is located in the temperature inversion. This inversion places a cut of a wall of cloud warm air rising upward from the ground. It keeps from rising any further by warm air in the stratosphere above. Unable to ascend, the rising is spread out over a wide area, forming a broad flat top on the cloud. The top area looks wispy because at such high levels it made out of ice crystal instead of water droplets. A rapid level winds blow the wispy flat top far out in front of the rest of the cloud, giving the columbus the shape of a giant anvil, a metal block of which blacksmiths found of hot iron. Meteorologists say that the cloud at an anvil top, the cloud's anvil-shaped towering far up into the sky and can be seen only at great distance. The cloud is such out of the cloud. All we can see is the broad bottom of a cloud, the base up to 50 miles away. Covers the entire sky with the darkness to someone looking at the cloud from far away. The upper part of cloud appear and barely white because the small cloud particles reflect the light of the sun, but below the bottom part of the clouds is very dark because the sunlight cannot filter through the cloud hole. The fully developed Columbus cloud is fueled by operation updraft of warm air rising from the ground into the cloud. As the clouds travel over the land, it draws warm air into the front of the ground out in front, and the carriage operates through the cloud at tremendous speed, appears as much as 100 miles per hour. In other areas of the cloud, strong air currents rush the round tower, the ground raindrops falling through the cloud draw this powerful down along with them. The trunk helps strike around and spread out in front of the storm, causing the sudden increase which you notice as the storm approaches.
All right. So a fully developed cumulonimbus cloud is developed by updrafts, so warm water, it's warm air that pushes up like that, and then downdrafts that push down, which cause all the rain and stuff. So the mixture of warm air and cold air is what causes the raindrops. And yeah, serious storms. All right, who is next to read? What's read next? Monte, you're up. Read about hail. Can't hear you, Monte.
Let me check now. Wait. The stormy brand of weather. There were, mister.
Yeah.
Hail, an unusually kind of precipitation called hail, forms only in very tall thunderhead with powerful updraft. Each hailstone begins as a small piece of ice caught in the updraft of a cumulonimbus. How do you say that, mister?
Cumulonimbus.
Cumulonimbus.
Good job.
The updraft through the hailstone very high up into the anvil to top of the clouds. After being tossed out of the updraft, the hailstone begins to fall back to the ground. As it falls, it strikes water droplets in the cloud and collects a layer of water, then freezes on its surface. But before the hailstone can make it all the way to the ground, the updraft again catches it and hauls it back up to the top of the cloud. The hailstone rises up and down several times, adding additional layers of ice on each round trip until it is too large and heavy to be kept in the air by a draft, and it and it falls to the ground. It is so large and falls so rapidly that it is still frozen solidly when it reaches the earth. The stronger the updraft of the storm, the larger the hailstone will be. The largest hailstone record weighs almost 2 pounds and measuring 6 inches across about the size of a small cantaloupe. Lightning. At one time or another, you have probably felt a shock as you touch a metal door knob with your finger on a cold, dry day. If you look closely, you may have seen a small blue spark jump between your finger and the door knob. A build-up of opposite electric charges, negative on your finger and positive on the door knob, cause an electric current to flow between the oppositely charged bodies. The electric current allows the charge to be balanced out. You can die of lightning as a huge spark. Electric current flows between oppositely charged areas in the atmosphere in the same way that a spark jumps from your finger to a metal door knob. Lightning is produced only by very old clouds and as the cumulus in these clouds, opposite electric charge build up with a strong positive charge through to the top portion of the clouds and a strong negative charge near the base of the clouds. The powerful negative charge in the bottom of the clouds attracts a strong positive charge in the earth below it, and the positive charge follows a cloud like a shadow as it moves over the ground. The positive charge rounds up and communities the object it can find in its effort to get as close as possible to the negative charge in the clouds above. The opposite charge in the clouds and ground build up until they are able to bridge the gap between them. A giant ball of electric current stabs through the air between the opposite charges, balancing them out actually. The lightning bolt you see for a split second is a series of even taking place at high speed.
You want to stop there?
Yes.
All right. So you see, that is how lightning strikes with a positive and negative charges. Okay, I'm gonna start here. This paragraph is actually. All right. Wait, you stopped at repeated, right? Monse?
Yes, mister?
Stopped at repeated?
No, I are able to bridge the gap. You will read a giant ball of electric current stats
I got lost.
of the page 235 in the first one. Here, look.
Okay.
This part.
All right. Actually, the lightning bolt you see for a split second is a series of events taking place at high speeds. First, a stepladder zigzags downward from the cloud. The step leader is a thin channel of charged air through which the lightning bolt can travel. When the step leader nears the ground, a burst of positive current from the ground shoots upward to meet it and flows through the channel to the ground above. Then, negative charge drains from the cloud to the ground. Repeated upward and downward flows of current through the same channel may take place, causing the lightning bolt to flicker. The whole process lasts only about 1/2 second. When the powerful current of lightning bolt flows through its channel of air, It heats the air to a temperature of 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The superheated air expands rapidly, causing sound waves that we hear as thunder. Because light travels faster than sound, you can calculate how far away a lightning flash is by counting the number of seconds between the time you see the flash and hear the thunder. Every 5 seconds is the equivalent of 1 mile. Often, lightning bolts do not come in contact with the ground, but bridge the oppositely charged areas in the cloud itself. Such bolts are sometimes completely hidden inside the cloud, and all that we see is a bright flash known as sheet lightning. Sheet lightning that is very far off in the distance is called heat lightning. All right, well, we have run out of time. You guys have to finish reading this page and the next 2 pages and then answer the comp check. It shouldn't be too hard. It looks like a lot, but a lot of it is just true and false. The majority of it is just true and false. And
when I see that comprehension check, I almost die. But when I see the instructions, true or false, I say, easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. All right, make sure you read it and then do it and then send it to me. Sound good? Okay, 11 o'clock. I'll see you guys back here.